So around a month ago, I went up to the Portland area to attend a friend's wedding, and I wanted to capture a bunch of landscape along the Columbia River Gorge and that entire area. So I brought along with me my Pentax 6.7 kit with the 105mm 2.4 lens and two other lenses, my 55mm f4 and the 200mm f4. And these are my top 3 go-to lenses that I usually keep in my traveling kit when I am doing landscape photography on 6.7 format film. So let's take a look at the shots that I got from the trip, and we'll kind of critique them and talk about them a little bit. We'll discuss a few things that I think I could have done better or will be better prepped for next time. But otherwise, please enjoy the shots and let's get right into it. I had originally shot this with Portra 160, but I'm not sure if it was my exposure or something in the developer or even the film being slightly expired. The shadowed areas were kind of lifted with a red tone, signifying either expired film or it might have been left in the developer a little too long or something. Not totally sure. So I converted it to black and white, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So unfortunately, it looks like the actual area that I was hiking in was restricted to foot traffic due to these fires. So here's the map of the entire closed area, and everything's blocked off at these points here, which is unfortunate because there's some really nice waterfalls in this area, but there are still a few that are open a little further down the road, so let's go check those out. Okay, here we are at Horsetail Falls? Ponytail Falls? I can't remember. There's 2 falls. Lower one is busy right now because there's a film production going on, so I can't really get to it. But this is the upper one. It's quite nice. I like it. For this shot, I believe I exposed off of the rock just to the right of the waterfall. I let my shutter drag at 1/30th of a second just to get some motion coming through the water. And this is Multnomah Falls, probably one of the more popular touristy spots. Unfortunately, there were a lot of people around, and it was really tough to get that right angle without somebody being in the way or just finding that vantage point that I could shoot from. These 3 shots here were taken with my Pentax T3, and it's fun to see the comparison between medium format and 35mm. This is a shot of Crown Point in Oregon along the Columbia River Gorge. This viewpoint was nice because it had a certain depth to it that allowed me to try out all 3 of my lenses just to see what effect it had and the outcome of those shots. I'm pretty happy with them all, but I think the 105mm was the correct one to use for this scene. So Mount Hood wasn't visible in the background, but fortunately I got some really eerie looking photographs of Trillium Lake, and I'm really stoked with how they came out. So this shot was taken along Beaver Creek in Oregon. I originally had used the circular polarizer, but I felt that it took off too much of those specular highlights from the top surface of the river, making the image look too flat. I'm really happy with how this one came out. This place is Cove Palisades, and honestly I needed a much wider lens to capture the entire vastness of this landscape and that body of water, but the 55mm did the best that it could, and I'm happy with how it came out. And this is Smith Rock, Oregon. I was only there for a couple hours right in the middle of the day, so lighting usually isn't the best. And honestly, I really would like to come back to the spot during a sunset or even a sunrise just to see how differently the light does come out. And this spot right here was actually right behind Smith Rock. As I was driving past the road, I looked to my right and I saw these cows just grazing in the pasture, and I knew I had to grab that shot, and it's become one of my favorites that I've ever taken. Now this is an area that definitely gave me vertigo. It's along the Daly's Highway in Oregon. It's a 300-foot ravine. It was too good to pass up, and the clouds in the sky looked amazing, and I just couldn't help but grab it. Here's a shot with my Pentax 6.7 on the left and the Pentax T3 on the right. So I hope you guys enjoyed the photos from this trip. Every time I go out, it seems like I learn something new about composition, lighting, or exposure, and I definitely came away with a few new tricks to keep in my bag. So thanks again for watching, and if you did enjoy the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. I've got more videos like this lined up in the future, and I'd love to share them all with you. So thanks for sticking with me. We'll catch you guys on the next video.